Hello, I'm Rebecca Flaherty, and today we're back in our mini-series of classic patterns in Procreate. We're working our way through these patterns here. We've already done the diagonal stripe, the E-cap, the houndstooth and the basket weave, and today we're tackling this nail head pattern, or nail's head pattern. It's a fabric weave you'll often see in suits and tailoring. It's very similar to the houndstooth pattern we made a few weeks ago, and I think this one is also a fairly easy one for beginners as long as you're careful with your snapping as always. If you want to use the same colour palette as me, I'm going to be using some of these colours today, then you can find that over in the Pattern Maker's Toolkit. So if you have all of that, then we're ready to get started. So if I hide this and show this, you can see that is the basic shape that we're going to start with to make this pattern, just so you know what we're aiming for. So let's go back out into the gallery and set up our canvas. So we're going to use a 3600 pixel canvas, which is 12 inches square. I'm going to use the preset I have here for 3600 pixels. If you don't have one of those, you can just create a new canvas, 3600 pixels for the width and height and 300 for the dpi. So I'm going to start off with a 50% grey for this pattern. So we're going to double tap over here and we're going to fill this layer with that 50% grey. Then we're going to tap transform, and you want nearest neighbour for the interpolation method for this design. And we're going to tap on any of these nodes here, uncheck the ratio, and I want to make the width of this box that we're going to make 1800 pixels, and the height is going to be 900. And then we can snap that into the middle of the canvas. Make sure you've got snapping and magnetics on there. Then we can duplicate this, tap transform, and we're going to rotate it 90 degrees and put it in the middle of the canvas there like that, checking for those orange lines. Then we'll duplicate this middle one again and snap this one down here. Then this vertical one we can duplicate and we can snap that one up there. Once you've got all of those in place, zoom in to make sure that there's no gaps in the middles there. You can then pinch those together, and that is essentially our basic pattern tile, but we don't want to leave it there. We want to see what this looks like in repeat and play around with a few different colour variations. So let's tap transform on this and snap it up into the middle there until that says 1800 pixels. Then we can duplicate, snap this over to there, pinch those together, duplicate, and snap those down there. And then we can keep going with this, making it smaller and smaller each time until we get a scale that we're happy with. So I'm going to make this smaller a few more times. There we go. I think that's a good sort of scale to be working with. So we can change the blend mode on this to colour burn, and that's going to disappear because at the moment it's blending onto white. But we can change our background to any of these colours and get these really cool effects. So I'm going to put mine on this dark blue and maybe change the opacity of this down a little bit so that we get more of a blended look like that. And then there you go. That's how simple it is to make a nail head pattern in Procreate. If you have a go at making this pattern and share it on Cara, then don't forget to tag me at bekkiflaherty so I can see it. If you like the look of this colour palette here and you want to download your own, you can find that over in the Pattern Maker's Toolkit. The Pattern Maker's Toolkit is kind of like a Patreon group, except it's free. You get access to all the resources in the Pattern Maker's Toolkit on my website, including those I make for my Skillshare classes, early access to some of my YouTube tutorials and drawing prompts, discounts in my Etsy store, and one new freebie exclusively via email every month. And I only send out one email per month, I promise. And lastly, if you want to see more pattern tutorials like this every week, then don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube. Have fun, stay creative, and I will see you next time.